Welcome people of the internet, it's me AMD, welcome to another video on this channel. It was a long while, ho ho ho, welcome in. I think I have to explain myself from that. I was not feeling YouTube at all, I'll be honest. I was really demotivated, so yeah. And DVD last time is not really in a good space, personally I would say. I'm not really enjoying the game that much again. I think I'm going through burnout a bit, but whatever. Anyway, there's this thing about balancing in Dead by Daylight. When every patch brings in a change to a killer that doesn't really have announcements most of the time ahead of time, and behavior doesn't really take time to gather feedback from specialists of the killer or the community about the character. So what they most of the time, from what I saw, do is just collect the basic general public knowledge and complaints about the killer and apply their changes. At least that's what they were showing in the recent character changes, which essentially back in 8.3.0 and in this 8.4.1 hotfix completely gathered two killers that are just straight up cannot be recognized as the killers they were before. I am talking about the Skull Merchant, which, funny story, I was going to talk about it when it released, back when I was still a merchant main, but Pixelbush already caught me out of that and did a brilliant video about the topic, and I mostly agree with everything that Pixel said in his video, so if you want to check it out, it's on my community tab. Like, there should be a post from that time period in which it's linked. So yeah, I wasn't really going to speak about it, but now, with the Chucky change, I am worried about this game's longevity and trust with its players and the relationship between dev and player base. Because we are already at 2 reworks in the span of a year, not even this calendar year, like game year, in which a character has been completely gutted beyond recognition, without any feedback from the community or killer specialists, aside from the general public that doesn't care enough how to learn the counterplay against this character. And essentially what behavior has been doing with these two killers is just implementing band-aid fixes that just silence the mouth of the general public, which will still DC, still give up against these killers because they don't know how to face them. So the only thing behavior does is just cut them to the ground, so they cannot be played as efficiently as they would be. And with that, they made the worst killer in the game in Skull Merchant, because there's literally no incentive to use their power anymore most of the time. And they got a character that was really close to becoming an S tier killer, even without the manual scamper, and was definitely in the A tier, and just put them in fucking, like, low B. What? Like, I am sorry. I know Chucky is considered annoying to face by the general public, but this is not the way to go. Like, you increase his duration and compensate it with lowering speed, but the cooldown change, and like, I'm not a Chucky expert. Don't take me as like a Chucky expert. I know a lot of Chucky mains, I'll be honest, that are way more competent than me to talk about this, but like, Jesus Christ, how do you nerf a character so hard? Oh wait, you already did that with Skull Merchant by completely removing the ability, or like, removing the point of using your power, so that's not a new thing, that's just you repeating the same mistake. And this is everything I'm saying in this video comes to one point that I'm trying to make here. Nobody trusts behavior anymore to change their characters. Every single reward that is announced brings fear into specialists of a specific character that's going to be changed. Onryo, I'm fucking worried. If you guys don't know, I main Onryo. She's like my secondary besides Dredge. And people don't know much about Sadako, they don't know how to handle their condemn stacks, they just choose to not do that and die hilariously, and their teammates are kinda throwing sometimes for them even. So I am kind of scared that my killer is going to be treated badly, and we have an Onryo 4.0 coming in soon, with just the killer being press M2 to be invisible and removing the condemn was like altogether. So yeah, that's fun. I wish that doesn't happen, but I'm worried that it could happen. There's like so many killers in this game, and so many of them have their little quirks that people just don't like for whatever reason whatsoever. And if Behavior Setup listens to them, like listens to this one part of the community that just doesn't care enough to play the game regularly to get good, and just make it easier for the new player to face the killer by making the killer fucking terrible, we're done for. This is over. Like, balancing falls apart. Nobody can do anything. It's over. I am worried about the balancing of this game because I main 2 macro heavy killers in this game, and one of them is hated by the community really fucking much. Whatever like space you are in that's related to the BD, there's probably one person that doesn't like going against Sadako because they don't care enough to figure out how does the tape and condemn system work, which essentially means that they consider the killer unfair most likely, and this, if they complain enough on like social media, this could end up hurting the killer and their specialists if Behavior doesn't change their philosophy and start hearing out people who actually play these characters and people who know how to counter these characters. Because it happened with Skullmetal and it happened with Chucky. Who's next? Plague? Cenobite? Hag? You can see how I didn't really prepare to make this video. I was just thinking about it today. I saw people compare. By the way, I have to touch upon this. Chucky is not bad. Like, Chucky was hurt, but he's definitely not bad. Like, he's definitely a shadow of his former self. Slice and Dice is just objectively better than Ambush. Like, I saw so many people compare Chucky to Pig in so many ways. You are dead ass wrong. Like, I know Ambush is considered really weak. It's not as weak as the community thinks, but it's still pretty weak. And like, guys, shocker. If you're not running double gears or any different trap or search related add-on, you're kinda throwing the game, I'll be honest. Like, Last Will and Workshop Grease feel nice, Crouch add-ons feel nice, but if you're not running anything related to boxes, you're throwing the game. You're not going to consistently win with Ambush only without using your built-in slowdown. Like, I'm sorry, Ambush is more like controllable than Slice and Dice, I'll give you that, but like, Ambush cannot vault over pallets, vault over windows, doesn't have the same duration, doesn't have the higher base kit speed, which I already touched on. If you're increasing the base kit speed with add-ons on Pig, you're throwing the game because you're not boosting your traps, and you need to boost your traps to win consistently. And like, unlike Chucky, Pig doesn't have the ability to move really quickly while charging her power. You have to crouch down, so you can take like 5 weeks to even start charging your power. The only consistent fake that Pig has is vibe checking, so crouching on the loop in the first phase of every survivor you face off to check if they leave the tile or commit to the loop. And like, that's the only fucking fake that works, because it takes a while to crouch down and hold M2 for a second to release the RAR, which, if you don't release it fully, it will be way more obvious than you think it will. Faking does not work on Pig unless you use the vibe check to just check if the survivor is a looper or a competent fucking player. So, no, Ambush and Slice and Dice are not the same attack. I could go on even longer, but like, no. Anyway, to summarize this video, Behavior needs to change their philosophy about changing killers a lot, because at this point, when you see that your killer is getting a change, you are scared. You're not excited. Behavior fundamentally ruined the trust of killer mains and killer specialists with them, and no killer main can feel safe anymore. Because literally next patch, your killer can be gutted beyond belief, just because the general public doesn't care enough to learn the killer you're playing. It's annoying, it makes no sense. And it shouldn't be done this way, that Behavior just balances over the general public. Listen to people who actually care for the game, not like people who just play one game and leave at the mildest inconvenience and then go to Twitter to rant about it more, and they probably have more hours on DBD Twitter than they have in DBD. Please stop it. Listen to people who play your killers, because I already lost one killer that I mained because of your changes, and it says a lot how many people can quit a character because you changed them in a way that wasn't appreciated by the specialist community of the killer, but was for the good of the greater amount of community. And trust me, people that play specific characters most of the time won't tell you to buff them beyond belief and make them uncounterable just to make games easier for themselves. They won't do that most of the time. They will actually care for the health of their character. So please, listen to us. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope to get more into the swing of YouTube, because I can really appreciate everyone who kept waiting, and I can also say that I was not caring enough about YouTube, so I'm trying to get back into it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another one. Peace out. Ho ho ho. Merry Christmas. Goodbye.